Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today we're into the big one, Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2. This is our Let's Play against the Soviet AI. I have now said that 301 times, and it just rolls off the tongue as like I could say it on complete robotics at this point. Okay, well, we just turned this turn. It is June 20th, 1943, turn 105. Now, the next point check is on turn 107. I think we're very safe there. We've got about 49, not about, it is exactly 49 points to spare, unless my math teacher taught me incorrectly. And then this will go up to 600 points. So I think we're in pretty good shape. I thought this last turn went pretty well for us. Now, unfortunately, of course, the Soviet steamroller is only picking up speed and manpower. So we'll look at that. We brought a lot of men back to the map this time. You can see them sitting over here at Warsaw. But let's just check out what happened last time. We lost 29,383 men, 433 guns, 54 AFVs, and 5 aircraft. The Soviets, well, we don't have their losses. We'll look at them elsewhere. But we do, even taking almost 30,000 in losses, we do gain 52,000 men on the map. And incredibly, we actually gain more on the map this time than the Soviets do. Well, that happens when you bring 5 or 6 divisions back from the reserves. We also gained 505 artillery pieces. Woo! That makes my heart flutter, my toes tingle. That's exciting. 505 artillery. We need all that we can get. We've really got an artillery shortage. The Soviets 333. They gain every time, but they didn't gain 1,000 this time at least. We put 405 AFVs on the map. Now, a big part of that is we do have some Panzer divisions that we moved back out here to help us out. The Soviets actually lost 319 AFVs. Now, we destroyed a lot of AFVs in their attacks last time, but some of this has to be something going to reserves or something like that because the Soviets just keep cranking them out. We lost 5 aircraft. It looks like he brought some aircraft back on the map, which we're going to do before I turn this next turn. We're just not going to do it right now. Logistics has been fine here for a while. Um, we do have 29 units on low supply. That happens when you bring them back out on the map, so that's probably some of it. Well, not those, but some of the ones that we've brought onto the map recently show up on the line with a little bit of a. I think it's because they're on the train. They come out of the reserves not fully topped up. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I kind of feel like they should be when they come out of the reserves, right? They should have enough food and bullets, you would think, unless we just have an overall shortage, but we don't. But anyway, you put them on the train. By the time they get to the line, they're just a little low. It's not critical, but they're in yellow. The Hungarians are also they eat a lot. We've determined a long time ago that the Hungarians are real eaters, and they just plow through supplies. So okay, it is what it is. They're Hungarians. I won't go further. Strength alerts. Where are we in trouble? Well, we're in trouble right here in the center with the Hungarians. We've also got some problems here in and around Vilnius because, hey, these units have been attacked quite a bit. They weren't necessarily the greatest units to begin with because they were part of the fallback from Minsk and otherwise. And so they've just been chewed on a little bit. We've also got a little bit of problem up here, maybe around Pskov. The Narva line, these guys got attacked numerous times this last turn for the first time in like literally 18 months, I think. And so we're going to have to look a little more closely at that. Certainly. Okay, breaking news. Dateline, June 20th, 1943. Temporary mobilization measures end. Now, if you read the comments on the episodes or under the episodes, Nordhammer's talked about this a few times. There's a mobilization going on in 43, and then it ends, and when it ends, your manpower drops that's what this is. The German manpower multiplier is reduced by 12. Now, I wish I could tell you the exact algorithm and say, well, this is what, the multiplier being reduced by 12 means. I will leave that to people that, enjoyed their algebra classes in high school. RAF raids in 1943, okay, they're also hitting our manpower. Of course, that's going to become a problem as it did historically. 8th Air Force raids early 43. They're targeting the rail yards and the heavy industry. That also becomes a problem, of course. I've already mentioned our artillery deficit. Basically, anything that's a kind of a heavy gun, whether it be anti-aircraft or artillery, we've got a real shortage. Excess garrison in the West. Hey, we gained a victory point and an AP. We're back up to 52 AP. So if we see a general or two out here we don't like, we've got the opportunity to replace him. Soviet partisans, yep, they're always at a 1 to 2, and that is breaking news for June 20th. Okay, well, why don't we go look at the order of battle? On map forces, we have 2.66 million. We have 337,000 men in the reserves. The total forces, now that includes the theater boxes, of course, are right around 5.6 million men. But on the map itself, well, on the map and in the reserves, what we have available to us is about 3 million men. 27,000 artillery plus another 3. Let's call this about 30,000. It's a little more than that, right? But let's call it 30,000 artillery. We've got between reserves and on the map, we've got about 4,300 AFVs, and we've got about a little shy of 3,000 aircraft. The Axis allies, hey, we still got 891,000. You put this together, that's 900,000. You put it together with all this, we got about 3.9 million men. Five or 5,800 artillery, okay, plus some in the reserves. Let's call that an even 6,000. Okay, 167 AFVs, we'll call that about 200 all total, and then we've got about, a little over 500 aircraft from the Allies. Again, a lot of that's sitting back in the reserves. The Soviets, meanwhile, have 6.6 million men on the map. So, I was talking about if you added up what we have on the map in the reserves, on map reserves, this ended up being what? Oh gosh, now I forgot. About 3.9 million men. The Soviets have 6.6 million, just kind of rough numbers there. 89,000 artillery pieces, nearly 15,000 AFVs, and a little over 10,000 aircraft. So you can really see, the disparity there. We've got better troops. I think they still have quite a bit more morale than the Soviet troops. But ultimately, we're essentially outnumbered 2 to 1 when it comes to manpower. Rough. I'm talking rough here. And we're, now it's about 3 to 1 on artillery, and it's about 5 to 1 on tanks or AFVs. So that's the state of play at the moment. Losses. We have now lost 3.345 million men, 54,000 guns, and 9,400, almost 9,500 AFVs. We've had nearly 1.7 million men killed. The Soviets have lost 10,301,000 men, almost 160 artillery pieces, 60,000, I should say, and nearly 50,000 AFVs. They have had 3.6 million men killed, another 4.2 million captured, and 2.3 million men that have been disabled. All right. Production. I know some of you like me to put that up, certain things you like to look at. There you go. Well, in the pool, the Germans have 49,000 men. So that, when we're talking about multiplier, I think, it's how much they can crank out. You think of men as like, in this game anyway, as almost like there's a factory that creates men, right? And so when they target our manpower or we talk about a manpower multiplier, that's really what we're getting at. Production. You produce men because it's a game. So they have to have a kind of a concept about it, and the concept is it's production, just like any other fuel production. So 49,000 men in the pool, that's not many, right? 108,000 Hungarians. Good. We need to replace a lot of Hungarian. I don't mean to, make light of it, but they're little pixel men. So little Hungarian pixels, we have got to replace them because we got just bulldozed in those Hungarian sectors last time. Here's our charts. 526 on the victory points. He's going to need 600 here in a couple of turns to get a sudden victory. That does not seem likely. Manpower losses, they spiked. The attacks have now started. The late spring or what did I? Are we in June or May? Yeah, we're in June. It's basically the summer attack season, campaign season, if you will. I think if it's June 20th, summer's tomorrow. So yeah, the attacks have begun, and you can see. I mean, we put a little, probably about 2 to 1 there on the losses. Maybe not quite 2 to 1. Uh, well, in guns, that looks a little closer. I don't know. I feel like it's showing what his were this time and what ours were last time or something. But anyway, you get the idea. Afv losses. I mean, this is what I was talking about. I mean, we destroyed a lot of AFVs in his attacks. He just seemed to be throwing them like waves of AFVs, and we destroyed a lot. Again, the losses aren't entirely important because ultimately it's all about ground really at this point. The Soviets are never going to run out of AFVs, artillery, or men. We just didn't get enough of them surrounded in 1942. So, you know, it's never ending. As you can see, the weather on the ground now is completely clear, so it is game on. Weather in the air at the start of the turn, you can see it's dry or clear here by the end of the turn. Still dry and clear on the playing field. It looks like there could be some rain that pops down here. Again, I'm not a weatherman, but high pressure generally means good weather, and it looks like good weather is here. What else should we look at? Well, let's see what's coming on the map. What's going off? We brought a lot of things out of the reserves, and you can see it's always around 170, 170. That's Warsaw, and so these things all came onto the map. Pretty much all of them at Warsaw. This bicycle brigade or recon battalion, I should say, went to OKH. Okay, we put a few things back into the reserves. We may have lost something, but again, I'm playing the initial version of the game, and it doesn't say from map here, which I think it should when things get taken off the map, even when we're putting them in the reserves. I feel like that's how it should work, but that's not how it works in our version of the game. It probably works that way now if you're playing a later version. I said version. I think that's that. Now, if I was smart, I'd put the aircraft on the map now, but I'm going to do that offline because ultimately I just don't. I like to take my time with that, and if I'm doing it in a recording or a live stream, I feel like I rush through it because I kind of feel like it's a little boring for somebody to watch. Now, I enjoy it, but I enjoy really I enjoy tasks like that. So maybe you do too. If you like games like this, you probably do. But I'll just do that offline. I'm not going to bring them on yet, so I'll just go ahead and go through the air directives. I know I've got the air directives set the way that I want. I mean, they've been the same now for months and months and months, which is basically it's all ground support. We need some for ground support for Army Group North. We need some ground support for Army Group Center. And then in the south, it's Army Group South and Army Group A. Now, we do have a new Luftflotte. I believe it's Luftflotte 6 has come on the map now. We set that up last time, so we're ready to go, I do believe. All right, and we get to the ground portion. Now, the only reason I could have brought aircraft on is in case we want to use ground support when we attack, but I've got that off. I don't really want to use planes for that. I want to save as much. If we're going to attack, I want it to be an obvious attack, and so we probably shouldn't really need a lot of air support. And I want to save as many of our aircraft as I can to fend off the Soviet attacks. Let's go and look really quickly at what we brought on the map. 323rd ID. What are these coming back on? They're coming back on almost at full strength, 96, right? You can now see the national morale of the Germans is 65. That's still pretty damn good. This unit comes back on with the 67. I've mentioned this before, but it will try to gravitate towards this national morale number, but as you rest it or as it wins victories or good things happen to that unit, its morale can go up above, obviously, above the national morale. It also can go below it. And if it goes, if you're in a battle, every turn it drops the morale down, and you got to be careful about that, right? So you need to some let things rest for a turn or two, try to get their morale back up, or give them an easy victory. If you see something that's just easy to beat, that can help their morale. But you can see all of these units we brought back on the map look great. I mean, it looks like they, almost fully rebuilt. You can see the Panzer divisions come back on with 235 AFVs. My God, that's glorious. Look at that. 74 ready Panzer III-Ms, 74 4Hs, 23 Ns, and then the little 1B recon type AFV. Awesome. Awesome. I mean, these are badass units, right? I mean, they've got the Vespies, they've got the Martyrs, the bigger guns, the Hummel. These are really, really good. The 105 millimeter and the 122 millimeter howitzers, big guns there. Looks like they got some mortars, field guns, AA guns. I mean, this is a good group. Now, this is still on Pioneer Squad 39, which is interesting to me. We must just have some left over. Why would it still be on Panzer? Because we're at the 43A template. Um, you know what? I just haven't read enough, whether on the boards in the rule book or otherwise, on the templates. If we're missing, let's say, 1943 Pioneers, which you can see here, Panzer Pioneer Squad 43. All right. I'm not sure how many we're supposed to have. We could look again. I'm not going to. But I'm just curious if it would fill in with Pioneer squads that we just have left over, or if this is just part of the template. It's a good question. One that I will have answered by the end of this series, I hope. Um, okay, so we've got these new Panzer divisions. They just look great. The 27th and the 19th, they're purring. Those engines are purring. And you can see, I mean, these are coming out with a lot of guns, these divisions. You look 96 on the TOE there, and if we look at the template here, it's supposed to have 6 heavy infantry guns. It does have 6. Wow, we haven't seen that for a while, but you can see the infantry guns here only half the AT guns. We did get 100%, but the artillery were a little light. So, we're not producing everything that we need, but not bad. Let's go back to the reserves then. And again, I'll do the air offline. We may just take a quick peek at it. Now looking at TOEs, you can see the 2 armor units we set last time. They only got up to 80 and 71. Boo. That's not great. 7th Panzer, let's look at this. What's it short of? If we go down the TOE, it's artillery and infantry guns, 25%. You can see the medium tanks here, 79%. Okay, not horrific, but only 117 of those. It got 18 of the CS tanks. What else are we light on? Mech infantry squads. Well, we need that. I don't want to bring them out here. Mech MG section need 16. We've got 4. I don't want to bring them out that light, on some good troops. So I'm going to keep those back here. I think we should be okay for a turn to keep those on refit. Looks like these mech units, the Panzer Grenadiers and Grossdeutschland, both need to build a little more too. I'm going to keep both of those back here. 88, that's going to go to the map. I mean, that's close enough. We're not at a point in the game where we can sit here and say, no, I really want it to be over 90 or something. We need every unit we can get. 85, that's going to be good enough as well for me. Let's go to the map there. All right. Moving on. 86. So this will be on the map next time. Okay. 86. I mean, again, not perfect. It's not as good as the divisions that just came on the map, but 80 anything over 70% right now looks pretty good to me. 87, that'll come back on. I'm really hoping we don't have to send much back here this time, and we can really start to empty the reserves. I may always want to keep three to five divisions back here just so that we have them. If things just get chewed up all up and down the line, we can rush them back to the map and try to plug gaps potentially. Now, people would say, well, maybe I should just let them sit in Warsaw for those purposes. That could be true too. I mean, I haven't done it yet, right? I'm just kind of talking through it. Okay, and then we have one more 87 there to the map. You go. All right. I think that's it for these guys. You can see we tried to rebuild an artillery unit. We got nothing. Nada. Zero. Oh, that's bad. Motorized mix flak. Yeah, let's send you to the map. That's at 100% TOE. That makes me happy. 97. These must be fairly new units. I don't think these are rebuilt units. Okay, we got a 95 up here. Now these will all go into OKH and then we can dole them out. That's one thing we probably should look at this time down the map is support units again. It's been a little while since we stared at them. Okay, I guess we're gonna start putting things on refit. Let's try to get 5 or 6 divisions out of here again. 43, that looks pretty good to me. So refit on. 2947 looks pretty good. Refit on. Now that our manpower multiplier went down, we may only want to do like 5 of these divisions this time. You can see some of these coming in with a 0, like the Sturm Infantry just got chewed up. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3. Let's do this one. That's 4, I believe. See, I tried to do it before, I think. I thought I had 4 done. 1, 2, 3, 4. 34, 34 on the TOE. Sure. Let's do these 2, actually. I said 5, let's do 6. They're both at 34. Let's see if we can get these 6 divisions out of the reserves. I think we did a pretty damn good job of managing the reserves. Now, from what I would consider kind of a bad situation, we were certainly on the back foot. But we rotated a lot of things in here and back out. I would say over half the units on the map now probably maybe even more, have been through the reserves during the winter and spring. So that's good. I mean, I do get the arguments of leaving things on the map, but I kind of like the way it all worked out this time. Uh, against a human player, would you have enough time to do that? I don't know. I mean, we haven't played the Soviet side yet. I'm not sure how aggressive the Soviet side should be, right? I get the sense the AI has been a little passive at some times, but also, in the mud, I don't care what your manpower advantage is. If you just don't have the strength to move something, just attacking over and over and losing 5 to 1, 6 to 1 probably doesn't make a lot of sense. All right, let's move to the north here and let's see what we got going on. I may want to bring yet another division up here. We'll see. I mean, they're needed in a lot of places. How many division? I want to make sure I know exactly how many we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 infantry, 2 panzer divisions. Do we have anything back by Berlin? No. Okay. And where else might we want them? Well, we may want to bring another division in this area. I still see a Romanian troop there on the line. We may want to bring something in here. This all looks pretty damn good. Let's go to defensiveness, by the way. X 38, 42, 42, 52. 35 is a little light, but I think that's one of the new rebuilt divisions. So, okay. 37, 38. We've got a 26 on the edge of the line there. Uh, But let's not get bogged down in the south. Let's go up here. Let's go up to the Narva line. I'm showing a 20 there. Well, that ain't gonna cut it, champ. I think I'm gonna have to bring another division up here. I don't really want to, because we need them where the Hungarians are. But I think let's go look at that really quickly here to stave off this. Um, I could go heavy woods, swamp, swamp. But I don't think a triple stack's even going to stop these guys now. I mean, it's going to have to come in. It's going to be Germans that come in on the rail. What I was trying to figure out, though, is how many German divisions it's going to take. I think we can get away with two if I drop back a hex here. Now, I don't want to do that because Ballystok here, I don't want to give them this railway in here to get supply into Ballystok. But this is a clear hex, and if I'm going every other one, now I could go, this is light woods, this is clear. So what I was thinking is heavy woods, we go 1, 2, heavy woods, 1, 2, swamp, 1, 2, we're already in this swamp. Well, it's going to take at least two divisions. Okay. Back to the north I go. Wow, this goes all the way back to OKH, huh? That's fine. That's how all these fortified units are, I believe. 14,000 men here. Now that 20, oof, 14,000, 9,000, 14,000. All right, so what I'm going to do, what's his TOE? 55, that's not very good. What I'm going to do is move this, well, let's make sure this unit can get here first. All right, I'm going to put him in there, and I'm going to take the 9,000 and put him up here for a double stack. Now we take this off and we go 38, 31, 48, 37. The problem is, of course, we don't have anything behind them. So if something starts getting shoved back, is this swamp? It is. Eugh. That's heavy woods, though. Heavy woods, light woods, and light woods. Okay, and here is swamp, swamp, light woods. Well, I already knew that. I went through that. What is this? Swamp. Okay. Three swamp hexes. If we get driven back, boy, you can't do much better than that. I wish I had some, I probably should have some Luftwaffe field divisions up here digging in so that these get to level threes. I'm actually shocked this hasn't gotten to a level three yet. How close are we to that? Oh, only 10%. That's as far as we can go in the heavy woods. Oh, okay. Um, well, this is place one. Oh, look, I can get my pencil out. I haven't done that in a long time. This is place one where we may bring a division. All right, enough of that. You guys don't want to watch me draw. What is this? Kindergarten? Um, okay. I'm still worried about this. This Soviet unit is strong enough it can do an X. Now I know it's on defense. Now I know it's in the heavy woods in a level 2 fort. Obviously, if it's crossing a river on the attack, that's going to be a little different. But I don't know that we're strong enough there. But I don't think we really have much of a choice. We're a little overstacked in 16th Army. Hold on, got to grab a drink. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had to step away for a second. If the screen jumped there, you probably didn't notice I was away for a few minutes. If it didn't. So anyway, I'm back. We were talking about this land bridge here. Not pleased with it, but I don't really think we can afford to put anything else there, at least for the time being. So 16th Army, a little overstacked, 32 of 30. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I guess we could maybe take my guy, Theobald Lieb, as I look through my monocle. Can we send him to 18th? No. Can we put him in 2nd Panzer Army? Well, we could, actually, I think. Or is that a little too far away? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Is it 15? Oh my gosh, I don't want to have to count this again. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think it's 16 away. But Lieb could move back, right? He can move back a few hexes because these are his guys. So as long as he's within 5, let's move him back over here, and he's only got 3 of 10. So instead of going to 16th, let's have him go to 2nd Panzer. Now that's under Guderian. What's his infantry score? That's a 7. All right, that's fine. So I guess Lieb's going to go into 2nd Panzer Army. I'm not saying it makes all the sense in the world, but we want to keep that 16th Army from getting any kind of penalty, so we may as well kick that back to 2nd Panzer Army. All right, and he's at 14 of 15, old Theobald, that wily fella. All right, perfect. Let's see then. So now 16th, just making sure. Yep, 29 of 30 for his command. We've got Herman Balk here. Now, Balk, this this little sector right here we'll talk more about in just 1 second. But before we do that, let's go down here, look at Brandenburger, who's 42nd. Make sure he's got everything he needs. He's got a Stug battalion in there. I love it. 23rd Corps, again, that's von Arnim. He's been here with the Finns forever. I just saluted the Finns. I still haven't found one to hug yet, but maybe. If I end up in jail overnight, you'll know why I randomly ran up and hugged a Finn. Okay, so great. I mean, they're great. I guess I should look at Von Arnhem's. He's got everything he needs. Heck yeah, he does. Now, one thing I was thinking about as we were moving down here is if I am going to attack this tank corps, and I think we have to. I mean, we've got to knock it back. Are we going to have any air support? Because we had already talked about the ground support. It is currently off, and so we wouldn't be doing any offensive bombing. But as you can see here, this air base, Valmyra, um, it has got 36 fighters. You can see here, if we click here, it's got 24 BF-110 F2s, and it's got 3 BF-109 G6s. And if we look even further, they're fighter bombers, but I do believe, yeah, we've got them as fighters. Well, let's go back and make sure this is truly a fighter. Yep, we've got 2 fighter groups here. That's great. And while we're on the airbase, it will show you the range, right? So, before we've seen the ranges when we want to, we click on the button and it shows us the ranges. But if you're just on the airbase here, it'll also show you the ranges. So if you ever, just wondered how that worked, or if you could see them some other way, that is the way to do it. So you can see those fighters will get out, a nice ways here. This is actually better than I had even hoped, because we have these fighters here. If the Soviets come and try to lend ground support, they will scramble then to protect our troops. Now, we're just not going to be doing offensive bombing in ground support, but our fighters will scramble. Certainly, if the Soviets try to bomb us. What do we have back here? What do we have at Riga? Can we get to yeah, there we go. Riga Air Base. We've got these are bombers. You can see here. No, those are transports. Duh. Yeah. There's the level bombers. How many of those do we have? So we've got 30 level bombers and 48 transport planes at Riga. And then we've also got some planes back here at Tuckums. I just like to say Tuckums. What do we have here? We've got transport planes and transport planes. Okay, so we do have some bombers in the area, right? And if we click on this again, and go to the airfield, will it show us the range? If we're, since it's a town, it's not just the air base, it's not showing us the range, but they're bombers that, well, hell, the range may be all the way to Moscow. I mean, some of these level bombers can go on forever. Uh, Okay, I mean, so everything in the north should be in range of those level bombers if we wanted to do that. Now, what do we have down here? This is Grudzai, something like that. What do we have down here? We have got level bombers, and I would assume level bombers. Yeah, so plenty of bombers in the area. And while we're on that air base, you can see the range gets out here. You know, we've flown over Leningrad. We're taking it all the way to Lake Onega. Sure. Where does the other ones? Is it even further? Oh, you can see all the rain up here, by the way. Uh, okay, so I mean, plenty of range on these to do bombing, if we really wanted to. And then we've got some more back here, more level bombers, and more level bombers. All right, and a good number of them. Now, this is just the shop, so that's three, but then there's 30 here, and then I forget the numbers here. Oh, 30 and 30. So we've got 90 total level bombers there, a decent number, a decent number. But we're not going to offensively be trying to do that. But our fighters will scramble if the Soviets bring bombing in to help this tank corps. All right. So Herman Balk, he's got 14,076.55. We put them together. They've got a 48 on the defense. Not great. They're only in the light woods. I guess I should go back and just look at this. This is where we double stacked here in this hex. I really like that. We've got about 31,000 men or so here. Now, this one is just one of the refurbed ones, 86 on the TOE. Here we've got a 94 on the TOE, but that should hold up against some pretty heavy Soviet pressure. Here we've got the 14,000, 8,000, 6,000. It's a hodgepodge up here with the 370th, 302nd, 102nd. This TOE is only at 50. This one is at 47. So that's not good. As a matter of fact, I would say it's really not good. But when they're all three stacked together in a level 3 fort, they're throwing up a 65. I feel okay with that. I want to get that 6,000 out of here, right? So let's go to the pencil. Here's place number 2. Oh, it's right here. 2. I just did that to annoy some of you, honestly. Okay, so that's place number 2 where we may bring a division. Now, what are we going to do about this right here? Now, this Panzer division, 13th Panzer, is not that strong. I mean, it's only got 91 Panzers in it. 30, well, it's a little stronger than I thought. It's 36 3Ms and 36 4Gs and 8 more 3Ns, and then we have some scouts there, but uh, you know, it's not at full strength or anywhere even close to it. 52 of 54. We're supposed to have 148 medium tanks. We've got 74. CS tanks, we're supposed to have 20. We've got 10. Recon tanks, 14 and 3. I mean, the tank situation there is not great. The artillery is abysmal in this division. So there is that. So how are we going to take care of this tank corps? Now, this is one of the newer divisions that's come on the line. And if you look at our defensive line now, we go from Pskov, it's a city, okay? That's an urban that helps our defense. It's an X there. Then we go to Clear, and that's, terrible that that's Clear. It's too bad. Not very defensible. Then Clear and Lightwoods. That's not great. He's in the clear back here. Lightwoods here, clear there. So none of this is very defensible at all. We do have this hex, which is rough. That's good. This is swamp. So in a way, what I would like to do, I think, is go get this guy moved maybe up here anyway. Now, yes, we're going to give up a level 3 fort, but we're doing it in a clear hex. And I just think it's better to go up here. Now, all of a sudden, though, this guy's going to be, it's going to seem this guy's stuck out a little bit too far. Um, we could keep inviting things to come in here. I'm trying to think of the best way to build this line. Here, here. I mean, this is so much more defensible, right? But then we would have to turn it this way, and all of a sudden, I mean, you know, we're just pushed back quite a bit. And plus, we'd be giving up this level 3 fort. I'm not sure I want to do that. I think I may come back to this. My instincts tell me to take this around and get in the rough. That way we go swamp, rough, right? Then back this to here, because, why are we holding on to this? I mean, part of it's we've got a level 3 fort, but we could build right back up into a level 3 fort. Then we would take this Panzer division and just move it back one into this clear hex on the rail. Um, but man, I something's sitting wrong with me about taking a step back. But we're in these clear hexes. We're not getting a whole lot of protection there. Um, oh hell, I'm just gonna do it. I think it's the right thing to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring him. We still need to attack here, though, is the problem. Or at least I'd like to. But now he would still have 7 left. He would only have 4 left. And he's the stronger division. Eh, well, I mean, this kind of turns already, right? So, got 14,000 and 12,000. We don't need that much strength there. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take this division? Now this is a swamp hex. Take this division with 12,000 and move it there. All right. He's still 53, right? So then this division doesn't need to move this time. And let's take this division, and I think I'm gonna leave the Panzers out of it. I think maybe just attack with these 2 divisions. I don't want to do one that's right on the line. That's why I brought him back. But this is a pretty strong division. So I think if we go here, here, well, I mean, okay, there's our 4 or our 5 divisions that could potentially be in the attack. This one I think is definitely out because that's the weakest one there. This 5 of 11 that's purple, I think that's got to be this unit, the 111th. Yeah, that's the 111th. How did I know that? Well, I hovered over this. I saw it was 111th. Then I went up here and saw 111th. I think I'm going to go with that attack as a deliberate attack and try to just blast this into Tampa St. Pete. All right, let's hit it. Okay, cool. That worked out just fine and dandy. 375 number of men we lost. You can see the fighters did scramble. Oh, and you can see the red lines right here. You can see where they came from, and they intercepted the Soviet aircraft coming from, probably this base, it looks like, and maybe this base, just based on, the directions those are heading. He did take this. Oh, wait a minute. Is that the one we blasted out of there? Oh, it is. Okay, that's 10th Tank Corps. I was thinking, oh, he put something in reserve into the battle, but that's not true. Okay, so we lose 375 men, 9 artillery pieces, and 11 AFVs, which seems, a little high, I would say. 5 aeroplanes. We ended up with a 545. He had a 2. So I probably didn't have to put the Panzer Division in. That was overkill. It took a 272.5 to 1. Those are pretty good odds in our favor. We knocked 41 planes out of the sky, 3,468 men, 55 artillery, 102 AFVs get blown out of there. All right. So what happened with these guys? Let's go look at their morale. These guys have great morale. 74. Look, they're going to be a little more tired, We can look here. There are 31 now, and their combat prep is 46. I should have looked at them before, just so you got a flavor of, how much that took it down. Their morale is still 69 with the national morale at 65. You can see 2 on the combat prep. Obviously, we just moved a long ways and attacked. 42 as far as being tired. These guys, now I have a decision to make. Do I go ahead and move them back here and make this line go like that? This is a clear hex, though. So that doesn't really advantage me, I don't think. Now, I'd rather be in the swamp, true, but I think what I'm going to do is take this infantry division, now that I think this is probably strong enough to hold. I think I'm just going to take this and put it on reserve. Oh, one thing to keep in mind. Oh, that was my bad. He was 6 of 5. He was out. I didn't see who commanded that battle. Well, it probably wasn't Val. Well, it may have been Valor. Valor's pretty damn good. My bad. I made a mistake there. I moved him 6 out of. I just didn't even notice that. Um, where are our depots right here? Is there a depot there? No. One, two, three, four, five. Let's go sit on this depot with the headquarters. Is he still out? I guess he is. Huh. Well, I want him in that rough hex. I would like this to be sitting on the depot. Well, you can't always get what you want. Okay, one, two, three, four, five. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just put him in here with Theobald Lieb. So he's going to go into 20th Corps. That works for me. All right. So you're in the 20th Corps now with Theobald Lieb, that crazy rascal. You can see 2nd Panzer, 27 of 30 there. Okay, that looks good. We've got 16 at 29 of 30. 18th is sitting at 28 of 30. That all looks fine and dandy. Okay, Herman Balk and company, he's going to stay on reserve. Reserve. This has got a number, quite a few more tanks. This went down to 80. What did we lose? 25. I think I said before they had 28. Looks like we lost some of the Panzer 3Ms, and possibly some of these 3Ns, right? We definitely lost the 2Fs, the scouts. I think I said we had a couple of those, so those are gone. All right, no biggie there. Probably putting the Panzer Corps in there didn't need to happen, but it's fine that it did. Okay, Otto Valor's now 8 of 10 now that he's given up command of the 111th. He's now sitting on top of this depot. Okay. What else do we need to know about these guys? 14,000, that all looks fine. This is 14,000, 15,000. Yes, I know I'm just saying men, the number of men, but unless I see something that's just out of whack, I'm not going to go look at every single TOE. 6771. Okay, it's not great. I mean, this is the weakest thing on the line as we come down. If we take the depots back off, you can see 27, 33, 53, but we've got a 21 here. Luckily, we've got lots of Panzer Grenadier divisions right here to try to stop any kind of further Soviet push. The problem right now is right here. They've crossed the river south of, this is Jagapils, I believe. I was wrong. It's Plavinus. Okay. That's right. I think Jagopils is actually there. Okay, that's what we lost. He's got a big mass here, obviously. He's across the river already here to the south. If we take the units off, you can see where the river runs. A river runs through it. What is Brad Pitt out there fly fishing? No. But a river does run through it. Right here, he's across. And then, of course, I mean, he's ways across here. But um, I feel like, and he's moved aircraft in here. Yeah. I feel, boy, I want to hit this. But we've got, Luftwaffe Field Division. Don't even count that. It's 3,300 men. 23rd ID, he's got no combat prep. He's not tired. That's good. What is this hex? It's clear. Eh. But we've got Dossreich there. We've got two halfway decent division. I don't want to oversell it. 54, 68 on the TOE. Okay, well, I've seen better. They're sitting here in this level 2. They're in the swamp. We've got the 4th Panzer Grenadiers here. They really can't move, though. I mean, I don't want to lose this hex and keep getting pushed back into Riga. An attack here. What do we see here? It's the 13th Mechanized Corps and the 293rd Rifle Division. Okay. Here he's got a Mechanized Corps and two Rifle Divisions. Here he's got two Rifle Corps. And here he's got a Guards Rifle Corps. Wow. The firepower right in this area. He's also got some armor here and down here, but not he's got mech units here, but not full-on armor units. All right, I may let this sit for another turn. I'm afraid of getting kicked out of here. We could take this field division and move it. Do, 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 do. I think I'll put the field division here. I think I'm going to double stack that there. That just gives it a few more men. I mean, he's up against quite a bit there. This is where I would be very concerned of a possible attack this time with a breakthrough. That now needs to go under Valor. All right, so it needs to go 28th Corps. All right, that's fine. So he's in the 28th Corps now, so we don't get a mismatch penalty. This looks super vulnerable, without a doubt. I mean, we're in front of the river. It's a clear hex. We're only in a level 2 fort. Now, they would have to attack across the river there, but he could move the armor here and attack without any kind of penalty across the river. It's a clear hex, everything else. I don't like any of that. That's a clear hex. Now, we could take a step back to here, so he's got to come across the river. This could go in the swamp. These guys could step back into the swamp. It's one step back, but right now we're defending a clear hex and a clear hex. This is at least light woods, and it's behind a river from any angle of attack unless they get over here and attack us. Kind of like that, if I'm being honest. I don't want to take any more steps back, and these guys obviously have dug in. I mean, it's 25,000 good troops. All right, I'm going to think about that for a minute. We've got mech cores everywhere on reserve. They should get thrown into any of that battle. I paused it there for a second because I wanted to take another look at this. This is one of the refurb divisions, but he's only representing a 22. He's in a clear hex again. Too much of that, but sometimes you just don't have a choice. I mean, this area right here is all clear. He's up against a tank core. Yep, 19th tank core. So that's not good. If you thought I was going to say something profound, you were wrong. It's not good right there. I don't like that at all. Now this unit, these guys could step back in the swamp. He could step back in the light woods. That would bring him back to the swamp. But man, I'd be giving up a lot of fort levels there, and I would like to try to mount some kind of offensive, even in a very limited, limited fashion, certainly. For instance, well, we got a lot of swamp here right now anyway. Um, the real breakthrough point is probably like right here and come down and just try to take out 10 or 12 divisions here. Then maybe we could follow on to that. Initially I kind of wanted to run something maybe through here, but it's awfully muddy out here right now. Swampy. So we could come out, try to run. Well, we can't do it across the swamp. But maybe, is that a swamp too? Yeah. There's no good place to go there. All right. Well, I'm not going to take a step back. I'm just not going to take any more step backs. This is definitely in danger, though, and we've got to think about. I could draw with a 3, but I'm not. We got to think about getting, something backing that up. And with that, I look up and I'm like, how in the heck did 55 minutes go by already? We went over the stats. I've spent a little more time just talking about our defensive situation up here. I never like it when it's like this. I mean, it's taking a hard right angle, and they're right next to each other. But I don't want to give up that fort level. So I'm still thinking about that. I like this, that we're in this rough here, but then we got a bunch of clear hexes there. Oh, so much to sort every time. Um, got this mech unit down here. This all looks pretty good, but we're going to get into all of this next time, which will actually probably go up not too far after this one. I'm kind of making them back to back to back so that they're stored up for when I've got that little baby in my arms that's due. So, anyway, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. Hopefully, you had a good time. I know I did. I'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.